Hello everybody and welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 206 for Thursday, September 3rd, 2009. And the film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is Rob Zombie's Halloween. This film is written and directed by Rob Zombie, and it stars Malcolm McDowell, Scout Taylor Compton, Sheri Moon Zombie, and Tyler Mane as the insanely tall version of Michael Myers. Rob Zombie's Halloween isn't so much a remake, I guess, as it's been described as a reimagining, which I'm okay with. And the story basically follows Mike Myers' younger years and shows him going to basically a psychiatric hospital where he's counseled after murdering most of his family, and he escapes and he's on the loose and he's looking for a girl. I won't spoil who the girl is, although it's kind of obvious, so, you know, doesn't matter. I thought this was a pretty good horror film. I guess I'll start off with kind of my history with Rob Zombie. I think The Devil's Rejects is a phenomenal film. I think it's sadistic and it's gross and it's violent and it's brutal, but I think for what it is, Rob Zombie does such an excellent job, and I think it's such a different horror film. And I really admire kind of what he did with it. House of a Thousand Corpses was his first film. I actually quite like House of a Thousand Corpses. I know a lot of people don't. I think it's a good little fun B-horror film, which I think is kind of what he's trying to make. But I think House of a Thousand Corpses, what sets it apart for me is I think there's moments of absolute brilliance in it. There's basically, namely, this one scene where the camera pans back when this guy's about to basically execute a cop. And the camera freeze frames for like 20 seconds before the guy even kills the cop, so the tension just builds without anything except a freeze frame. Awesome. All that being said, though, I think Halloween is probably his worst film, and I think the main reason for that being is that he's not working on something original. It's kind of a rehash, and it starts to feel towards the end like a standard generic R-rated horror film that you would see in theaters. But I think the reason I like this movie so much more than those is that probably the first half hour to an hour are so well done, especially the first half hour, which is basically Mike Myers as a young kid, and he eventually kills his whole family. It's done with such, I don't want to say such fervor and kind of drive behind it. Like, Rob Zombie knows what he's doing, I think. And I think the first half hour really shows that this guy knows how to make a horror film. And I think that shines through. However, the last hour of this film does become a little conventional for my taste, and it all feels very standard. There's the person that you think is dead, and then they come back alive, that sort of thing. I think it's still a pretty decent film, and I hadn't seen it until just recently because I'm going to review Halloween 2 for you guys tomorrow, because I wanted to see that. I wanted to see both of them to kind of get my perspective. But I give this first Halloween from Rob Zombie a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a pretty solid horror flick. However, it's nowhere near his other two that he's made. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one for you.